Brother, she tried. So we finally got access to solo leveling episode freaking 8, and I just want to quickly say it real quick. This is probably one of the best episodes of solo leveling. So if you guys did not know, last week's episode was kind of a build episode, him returning to the actual Hell's Tower to actually compete, to actually get all the requirement materials, to heal his mom, of course, and so he had to complete all 100 floors. Now, originally, I didn't think episode 8 was going to be anything special. There were rumors that this was going to be the fight where he versus the Demon King and stuff like that. And throughout this episode, it's kind of shown like what exactly happened. We have the first part was where he actually meets the new girl, which is Ellis or something like that. I don't want to say her name, but I love her character design. She turned out amazing. Like comparing it to the manga, to the anime, she looks amazing. She's freaking adorable, and she's pretty much just a guide for him through this whole quest to actually like complete the tower, because we figure out the reason on why he can't actually get through this tower is because of the fact that the seal to the next floor, because he's on 84, they go to 81, they're hiding the actual entrance. And the reason why they're hiding the entrance is because they're getting a phrase in their head. Like the monsters usually have a phrase that's like hunt all humans or kill all humans. This one's protect your place. And we kind of get teased like what probably happened here before they actually got summoned, because this is not the demon realm. This is somewhere in between there. So it's like something that happened, maybe a war zone. So it looks like the demons were fighting someone or something. And then of course, before the war even happened, they were summoned here. So there's probably something to that more with the system, because the system was blocking the information, and usually the system blocks every information to it. There's probably a reason behind it. So I assume we'll see more of that later on in the series. But can I just say, she's freaking hilarious, because she literally tried to dash at our boy while he was actually doing his thing. Because like, you know for a fact, she was not gonna win in the first place because our boy's just OP now. So her just trying to make a play for him last second and be like, maybe I can. And of course, it did not work out for her, which was just absolutely hilarious. And then she's just like, okay, you know what? I messed up. I'm sorry. I won't do it again. And that was just so freaking cute. And yeah, there's a lot of really good moments in this actual episode, which I'm pretty happy about. The animation to this episode was really good too. They had some really cheeky angles. Like if it wasn't blatantly obvious on what they were doing in some angles, I don't know how you didn't see it, but they did some things which was like fan service, but it's not like too, it's like they're not trying to force the fan service. It's kind of there, but it isn't there. But we also get a follow-up on the ants, because so far we're learning that we're most likely going to go into the ant arc later on this season, which I didn't think they're going to adapt it. I was like, that was pretty faster than the actual adapted here today. And so one of the ants we cut off last episode was attacking, was landing on the mainland, and we found out one single ant landed on this island and took out 294 civilians, all dead, and it took 108 hunters to defeat one ant. Now keep in mind, what they're implying is that one of these ants is A rank at minimum if it has wings, which is insane, but it only lives for a year. They go to places that have high mana so they can actually nourish themselves, but it looks like our boy and them are gonna actually have to take care of this sooner than later, because they know for a fact if one of these ants is A rank and it took over 180 hunters just to put it down, they're gonna need to get rid of this whole island altogether and just take care of this for the time being. So looks like we're getting into the ant arc within the next episode. But we also ended off with this episode which is like a super insane fight. Like I will say there's some things about this episode was kind of annoying. Like occasionally here and there we were getting access to like scenes like this where they're talking about the ants and stuff, which is fine, but I feel like they should have done it in all one part. Like when they talked about the ants here having casualties and stuff like that, to them doing some other things, they should have just made that like all one single bit. I might go back on later here, because when I post a full reaction on Patreon, I might make a different edit of this episode where like it's the fight between the Demon King, full thing, because there's between the fight there's like weird talks and stuff. I'll probably remove that and remodel it. I'm gonna re-edit this anime episode for myself when I put on my Patreon. I'm gonna do Elsa, ants, then full Demon King fight, because the whole last half of this episode is literally the Demon King fight, which is so freaking cool. Can I just say it? And they did not stop. Like they did not stop the heat. Like they literally said, talk to the ants, all that jazz. We get to see a little bit of the demon hierarchy, how the monarch and stuff like works. And they all implied like, if you're a higher ranked demon, you usually bring offers to them so you work with them. But our boy kind of points out like, you guys are weaker than these demons. So if I was weaker than the demon, I'm weaker than you right now, would you have worked with me in the first place? And it's implied that, yeah, no, that would definitely not happen. Just fight the demons. You can't like work with them because it's at the hierarchy. Whoever's the strongest is the strongest. No survival of the weak. This episode is cool. They had the fighting between him and the actual Demon King. I was over here like, As soon as like you saw this episode and how they animated it, I was like, this is actually like sick. Luckily, there was not much buffer and stuff because I was worried when I was watching this episode, there's gonna be a lot of buffer, but you can literally see the animation to this whole episode at this keen part is when you see between the episode, between the first part and 10 minutes in, this is when the animation actually started to kick in. Our boy got to summon the shadows, do some fights with them. They get to do some really cool maneuvers, and our boy was using all of his skills at absolute finest. Now, I will quickly say, I don't know how he won this fight. Like, this demon guy had the most like OP AoE attack. He shoot a freaking beam into the sky, blasted the absolute shit out of everything. Like, I don't know how our boy won this fight at all, because like as soon as he did this attack, I'm over here like, they're cooked. Yeah, he was able to like make a play, go for the dub, and actually like do it, and just the whole fight is fantastic. Now, my one main problem I have with this episode is literally this. So literally, you have like the fight that before they continue fighting, they say, hey, you know what? We're gonna talk about the ant arc more when we get into the good part. Which is, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. Like, when we had the episode prior with the orcs and the fight between them, it made sense to have those intermittent pauses between the fight and also like what's outside going on in the dungeon, because it made sense in the same situation, same atmosphere, and it didn't really intrude too much. This episode had the Demon King fight. It was really good, but then they had like the ant arc you're talking about, which was kind of out of place. You know what I'm saying? It just didn't match the situation as like the 2 episodes prior did with the fight. But my real question for you guys is, which one do you think is better, the Demon King fight in this episode or the orc fight with the orc sorcerer 2 episodes prior? I think the animation of both of them are absolutely amazing. I think either one of them are fantastic. I kind of think the last fight we got, the last main fight, was better. This episode was still peak though, at the end of the day. I just think if they remove this one little sequence right here, the episode would have been 10 times more amazing. But yeah, well, that's my honest thoughts about the newest episode of Solo Leveling. Enjoy my review / reaction here today. Make sure to smash the like button, get subscribed, and I'll see you on GMAN out.